There was a time when no one took Larry Ellison seriously, just another loudmouth tech guy with big dreams and a bigger ego. But behind the arrogance was a plan, one that would quietly build one of the most powerful companies in the world. A company that would outlive the dot-com crash, outmaneuver Silicon Valley's biggest players, and eventually challenge the gods of tech themselves. While Bill Gates and Steve Jobs were fighting for the future of personal computing, Larry Ellison was busy building something far more dangerous, the invisible infrastructure that would power them all. Oracle wasn't just selling software. It was building a digital empire, one line of code, one secret contract, one government deal at a time. And through it all, Ellison would earn a reputation as the corporate samurai of Silicon Valley, cutting down competitors with precision, arrogance, and a brutal sense of vengeance. But how did one man go from a college dropout with a fake resume to becoming the billionaire warlord behind the world's most powerful data empire? This is the untold story of Larry Ellison, the man who turned data into domination.
Oracle's Larry Ellison is an international yachtsman, a playboy. He's been in Playboy. He's the opposite of a hands-on geek boss who runs his $50 billion company from so many remote locations. He's almost invisible at headquarters, a mystery.
Oracle began as a database company. It powered enterprise software, handled engines behind the scenes, and was rarely talked about in AI circles.
Any of the modern things in life, if you live today, I think you probably use Oracle.
By the early 2020s, when AWS, Microsoft, and Google Cloud were gobbling up headlines, Oracle felt like a relic. Many believed its best days were behind it. Larry Ellison, the fiery billionaire who once bragged about buying islands and racing yachts, was now leading what most people considered a slow-moving dinosaur. Investors saw Oracle as the kind of company your dad's IT department still used, not the kind that builds the future. While Silicon Valley was obsessed with chatbots, NFTs, and self-driving cars, Ellison was quietly laying the groundwork for something that would take years to pay off.
We weren't sure Larry was right, but we needed the jobs, and it was a struggle all the time. Larry was under a lot of pressure to get some money in somehow.
He understood something the others didn't. Data would decide the AI war. Oracle had spent 4 decades collecting, storing, and structuring the world's most valuable corporate data. Banks, hospitals, governments, and the biggest companies on Earth ran on Oracle databases. It was the silent backbone behind the global economy, boring, but indispensable. And Ellison knew that when AI matured, those who controlled the world's data pipelines would hold the real power, not the ones chasing headlines.
Amazon now is kind of the number one brand in infrastructure cloud computing. Let me tell you an interesting fact. Amazon does not use AWS to run their business. Amazon runs their entire business on top of Oracle.
By 2025, Oracle's cloud arm, OCI, began making strange announcements. It reported a 359% year-over-year jump in its remaining performance obligations, RPO, a fancy term for contracts that haven't been realized yet. That backlog hit $455 billion.
Larry Ellison's net worth soared by $89 billion. That was the biggest one-day gain ever recorded on the Bloomberg Billionaires Index.
We have one other piece of news coming out of the Oracle story. After Oracle's results surpassed expectations, its co-founder, Larry Ellison, has become the world's richest person for the first time, ending Elon Musk's nearly year-long reign in the top spot.
Oracle was sitting on the biggest future revenue pile in enterprise history. It wasn't just random growth. It was a sign that something massive was happening behind the scenes. Companies were locking in Oracle cloud capacity years in advance. It meant Oracle had something the others didn't. Still, having a huge backlog is one thing. Fulfilling it is another. And that's where the next move comes in.
The Oracle database manages most of the world's data. Today, 10 years ago, nothing has changed. All of the world's important, valuable data is in an Oracle database.
If Oracle was going to play in the AI league, it needed killer clients. Enter OpenAI. In mid-2025, reports surfaced of a $300 billion 5-year contract for computing power supplied by Oracle. This contract alone represented a tectonic shift. AI labs needed guaranteed GPU and compute capacity, and Oracle could deliver that. Oracle wasn't just selling cloud space. It was renting out the foundation of intelligence itself. Every open AI model trained through Oracle would feed billions into Ellison's empire, while reinforcing Oracle's relevance in a world it was once excluded from. And for Ellison, this was poetic justice.
It is my job to, go out in the marketplace and win. And
the same Silicon Valley elite that mocked Oracle for being, quote, too corporate, were now dependent on its infrastructure to build the next wave of AI. But that deal wasn't isolated. Word leaked that Oracle was embedding AI agents directly into its cloud apps, enabling clients to run inference and training workloads close to their own data. While others were building general-purpose tools for the public, Oracle was tailoring private AI ecosystems for governments, banks, and pharmaceutical giants. He was quietly embedding himself into the world's most secure systems, where once you're in, you never get replaced.
Go make some acquisitions and buy some technology where he was behind, and he really was the one that started the whole M&A trend within the technology industry.
He was building vertical integration, data, models, hardware, all working in harmony, a full-stack ecosystem where Oracle didn't just provide storage, it provided intelligence. Meanwhile, Oracle struck a partnership with AMD to deploy 50,000 MI450 GPUs for its AI superclusters starting in late 2026. These chips weren't just another hardware upgrade. They were Ellison's way of saying, we don't need NVIDIA to dominate AI. The partnership blindsided the industry. Oracle's rivals were still fighting over limited NVIDIA supply, while Ellison locked down an entirely separate GPU pipeline, one that gave him control, pricing power, and scalability. This wasn't just supply. Every empire built on contracts faces one critical problem: delivery.
It was selling a lot of futures, so you were taking a lot of money in, a lot of revenue in for future deliverables. Well, then the question comes, when you finally have those deliverables, now who do you sell them to? You already sold it to everybody. You sold it to them 3 years before you had it.
Ellison was betting his reputation, his wealth, and Oracle's legacy on his ability to execute flawlessly at a scale the company had never seen before. And as the clock ticked, that bet grew riskier by the day. Yet behind the scenes, Oracle wasn't just racing against time. It was quietly rewriting the entire cloud playbook. Because if you promise $500 billion but can't deliver, you're toast. Building the infrastructure for this new Oracle wasn't easy. Ellison wasn't just scaling servers, he was rebuilding the entire backbone of Oracle Cloud from scratch. Unlike Amazon or Google, Oracle's cloud wasn't born for scale, it was born for databases.
Well, we didn't get our database to the cloud quickly enough. So if you wanted a cloud database, you had to go to Amazon for a database, and then you're able to go to Microsoft for a database. It took us a while for us to build a secure cloud.
So to compete, Ellison had to engineer an ecosystem capable of training trillion-parameter models at speeds the old Oracle could never dream of. That meant new data centers, optimized for AI supercomputing, each costing upwards of $1 billion. Massive server farms rising out of deserts in Utah and Arizona.
What is it? It's a collection of data and information that's very simply put into a format that makes it very easy to search and find that information. It's nothing more complicated than that.
Built to run nonstop, burning through megawatts of power per minute. Behind closed doors, engineers describe the transition as surgery on a moving plane. Every upgrade risked downtime. But Ellison was used to risk. He had gambled before, on databases, on cloud, even on buying entire islands. And every time, people laughed until they didn't. Still, this was different, because this time, Oracle's entire reputation was on the line. The company had promised governments, defense contractors, and AI giants that it could handle workloads at the cutting edge of intelligence.
The future was incredibly bright, and I think everybody within Oracle at that time certainly knew it and sensed it.
It wasn't just incrementally better, it was orders of magnitude better.
One failed deployment, one major outage, and those multi-billion-dollar contracts could vanish overnight. To make matters worse, Oracle wasn't operating alone. It was going head-to-head with AWS, Google Cloud, and Microsoft Azure, companies with deeper infrastructure, longer histories, and massive AI ecosystems. Yet somehow, Oracle had one advantage they didn't: Larry Ellison's paranoia. Ellison didn't believe in playing defense. He built redundancy into everything. Every data cluster had backups of backups. Every region had fallback servers that could deploy in seconds. This wasn't just infrastructure. It was Ellison's obsession with immortality, ensuring that Oracle would never be caught off guard again. If it worked, Oracle wouldn't just be back. It would own the single most valuable layer of the AI stack, the foundation everything else runs on. But if it failed, it wouldn't just be a bad quarter. It would be the end of Oracle as we know it. So Ellison did what he always does best. He turned pressure into performance. And while the rest of Silicon Valley was busy chasing the next viral AI startup, Ellison was quietly engineering something far more dangerous. Then came the turning point. In 2024, Oracle's years of quiet rebuilding suddenly exploded into the spotlight. While the world was busy obsessing over OpenAI and NVIDIA, Oracle's stock began skyrocketing, but because of contracts. The kind of long-term, government-grade contracts that Wall Street had completely ignored. Everyone thought Oracle was playing catch-up, but it turns out they were building the foundation the others were standing on. Its cloud backlog surged past $98 billion, the highest in company history. That meant $98 billion in future guaranteed revenue already locked in, and the numbers just kept rising.
I think a lot of investors and analysts are assuming that if it can do deals like that, there will be more coming down the line. If you've been paying attention to Oracle, this has actually been a while in the making. The last several quarters, this has been the story of their earnings.
By mid-2025, Oracle's quarterly earnings crushed expectations again. The AI partnerships were paying off. OpenAI workloads, TikTok data, US defense contracts, all hosted quietly on Oracle's infrastructure. But the real shock came when Oracle began eating into Amazon and Microsoft's market share.
What percentage of the top 100 SAP customers in Europe, how many of them run the Oracle database? Only 99. One actually ran IBM DB2. So we only have 99 of 100. All of their cloud services, whether it's SuccessFactors, Ariba, all of these things they've been trying to get off of Oracle and onto HANA for a decade, still all run Oracle.
How did a company everyone had written off as old tech suddenly become one of the hottest AI plays on Earth? The answer was Larry Ellison. For years, Ellison had been waiting for this exact moment, a shift where data, privacy, and reliability mattered more than hype. And when it came, Oracle was already 10 steps ahead. The boring infrastructure everyone mocked suddenly became the most important asset in the AI race. Because while startups built models and big tech fought for attention, Oracle owned the pipes they all ran through. Every competitor that ignored Oracle was now, ironically, paying Oracle to stay online. In September 2025, Oracle's market cap blew past $500 billion, catapulting Ellison's net worth to $200 billion, closing in on Elon Musk himself.
You write it, you use the Oracle tool or Oracle Java tools for everything. And at the very end, you press a button and said, convert this to Android format. We don't compete with Google. We don't do anything Google does. No. We just think they took our stuff and that was wrong. That's a completely separate issue.
But I mean, you think they're evil?
I think what they did was absolutely.
And you blame Larry Page?
100% Larry Page.
That was the same man who'd once been called outdated, arrogant, a relic. The man who'd been mocked for being, quote, too old school for the AI age. But Ellison didn't want validation. He wanted domination. Behind the scenes, insiders say he's already working on autonomous cloud infrastructure where servers will optimize and repair themselves without human input, essentially creating an AI-powered version of the Oracle ecosystem that can't fail. And just like that, the man who started Oracle in the 1970s with $1.200 had turned it into one of the last founder-led empires still standing in big tech. Every decade, Silicon Valley chooses its gods and graves. And somehow, Larry Ellison has managed to be neither. He's become the architect.